Hello and welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. The African Union holds talks with the country's senior officials, electoral process. And on the international scene, global demand is stalling, oil reserves at an all-time low. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The Unified Democratic Center held a campaign meeting in Ali Sibeh, drawing a strong turnout and a lively atmosphere. Supporters gathered in large numbers to show their backing, reflecting sustained mobilization on the ground as the electoral campaign continues across the country.
هذا لاقو مدالي خير والي دابا أيوة يا عاقلة أيوة يا عاقلة هذا لاقو مدالي خير والي دابا أيوة يا عاقلة أيوة يا عاقلة
On the other hand, the Union for the Presidential Majority UMP also held a campaign rally in Balbala, marked by significant public participation. The event highlighted grassroots engagement and reinforced the presence of political across actors ahead of the presidential election.
watan goortii laysa garan jiray watan goortuu go'aanka shacbigu garsoorka ahaa ee la gudan jiray waajibaad garaa watan goortuu go'aanka shacbigu garsoorka ahaa ee la gudan jiray waajibaad garaa watan goortuu go'aanka shacbigu garsoorka ahaa ee la gudan jiray waajibaad garaa watan goortuu go'aanka shacbigu garsoorka ahaa ee la gudan jiray waajibaad garaa
The first edition of President IOG Cup launched a few weeks ago continues to enjoy strong success and is now entering its final phase. The top teams remain in contention to secure the inaugural title. Yesterday, the Gendarmerie faced Assas Telecom in an intense and closely contested match. At the end of regular time, both sides were level, pushing the game into a penalty shootout. The Gendarmerie ultimately prevailed, winning 4-2 on penalties, thereby securing their place in the final. They will face the Republican Guard in the final in a highly anticipated clash that promises high-level competition and entertainment. The first edition confirms the growing enthusiasm surrounding the President IOG Cup and highlights the dynamism of local football. As part of the Pormak City campaign in Dakhil, the Union for the Presidential Majority engaged directly with local communities in Mulud. The initiative aimed to strengthen ties with voters and address grassroots concerns throughout direct interaction.
watan goortuu go'aanka shacbigu garsoorka ahaa ee la gudan jiray waajibaad garaa watan goortuu go'aanka shacbigu garsoorka ahaa ee la gudan jiray waajibaad garaa
As part of preparations for the presidential election scheduled for the 10th of April, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Abdul Ghadir Hussein Umar, received international observation missions tasked with overseeing the proper conduct of the vote. Discussions focused on electoral preparations, transparency guarantees, and the deployment modalities of observers across the country. These missions, composed notably of representatives from the African Union, IGAD, the League of Arab States, and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, are mandated to ensure independent, impartial, and credible observation of the electoral process. They will also meet with candidates, national authorities, and electoral institutions to assess the conduct of the vote in line with international standards. The meeting was attended by several officials, including Abdi Mahmoud Ebe, Ambassador of Djibouti to Ethiopia and Permanent Representative to the African Union, as well as Muhammad Ali Hassan, Secretary General of the Ministry, alongside senior officials. The Constitutional Council received a delegation from the African Union Observation Mission tasked with monitoring the 2026 presidential election. The meeting took place in the presence of the newly appointed President of the Constitutional Council, Mr. Abdi Ismail Hirsi, and Council members. Discussions focused on electoral preparations and mechanisms ensuring integrity and transparency, reflecting the country's commitment to international standards and democratic principles. The visit is part of a broader assessment tour aimed at evaluating international institutional readiness and the facilities provided to voters and electoral commissions. The President of the Constitutional Council highlighted the importance of upholding transparency and legality throughout the electoral process, reaffirming institutional commitment to democratic standards. The Republic of Djibouti is hosting an African Union electoral observation mission led by Bernard Makuza, former Prime Minister of Rwanda. This high-level delegation includes representatives from various African Union bodies and institutions. On the Djiboutian side, senior officials are also participating in the discussions. In this context, the President of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Senai, Bahnan Ali Medal, held a working session with the delegation focused on preparations for the 10th of April 2026 presidential elections. Discussions addressed the progress of preparations, coordination mechanisms, and the logistical, technical, and administrative arrangements put in place to ensure the smooth conduct of the vote. Particular attention was given to polling station organization, voter card distribution, and overall voting condition nationwide. Head of mission emphasized the importance of transparency, coordination, and adherence to international standards to ensure credible and inclusive elections. The National Educational Training Center hosted the closing ceremony of a Training of Trainers workshop dedicated to teaching the history of Djibouti in Africa, organized by the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training in partnership with UNESCO and the Canadian Association for the Promotion of African Heritage. The two-day session aimed to strengthen pedagogical capacities at the secondary level. The ceremony was presided over by Mohamed Mousayab, Secretary General of Djibouti's National UNESCO Commission, in the presence of historian and decolonization expert Mr. Abdi Bile Dirir, as well as educational officials, trainers, and teachers. Discussions focused on integrating the general history of Africa into national circula and identifying effective teaching methods. Led by Mr. Dirir, the training highlighted the lasting influence of colonial legacies on circula and social perceptions. Sessions provided practical approaches to renewing contact, diversifying perspectives, and fostering critical thinking. Participants explored innovative, inclusive, and contextualized teaching approaches, linking academic knowledge with local realities. The workshop concluded with recommendations emphasizing continuous teacher training and support for ongoing reforms to ensure sustainable integration of both Djiboutian and African history in education. Historian Abdi Bilader underscored the importance of rethinking historical narratives and strengthening educational approaches to better reflect African perspectives. As part of its price monitoring and regulation policy, the Ministry of Commerce conducted a large-scale inspection operation today in shops and storage facilities in the Balbala area, particularly in PK12, under the supervision of the Director of Internal Trade, Mr. Abdi Farah, and the Minister's Technical Advisor, Mr. Daher. Teams inspected markets and stores to verify compliance with commercial standards, proper price display, and the availability of essential goods. This initiative forms part of government efforts to protect purchasing power and ensure transparency and commercial transactions. Traders were urged to regularize any irregularities and report supply difficulties. The ministry indicated that similar inspections will continue in other neighborhoods to strengthen market oversight and prevent unjustified price increases. The ministry affirmed its commitment to maintaining price stability and ensuring a fair and transparent market. In the same context, as part of ongoing market control operations, inspectors from the Ministry of Commerce and Tourism launched price monitoring missions for meat products at the Riyadh market on Monday. These operations aim to ensure compliance with regulated prices and protect consumers' purchasing power. The ministry stated that such actions will continue nationwide and urged traders to strictly adhere to existing regulations. Any violations, particularly price speculation, will be subjected to sanctions in accordance with the law. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, global oil markets have recorded a sharp decline in reserves in recent days, following escalating tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic maritime route for crude oil transport. According to economical reports, global stock levels have dropped significantly, increasing risks to energy market stability and placing upward pressure on oil prices. Before we leave you, a reminder that our special election news edition is coming up right after this. As you can see, we are now joined live by my colleague Aisha Abdullahi, who will be guiding you through the latest developments and in-depth coverage of the ongoing electoral process. That's it for this edition. Thank you for watching and stay with us.